you. Today is the Divine Appearance Day of Sri Madhvacharya, as well as Ram Vijayotsav and Ekadashi. Okay. Sita Ram Jaya Sita Ram, Sita Ram Jaya Sita Ram. Sita Ram Jaya Sita Ram, Sita Ram Jaya Sita Ram. My tea. Raghupati Raghava Raja Ram, Patita Pavana Sita Ram. Raghupati Raghava Raja Ram, Patita Pavana Sita Ram. Raghupati Raghava Raja Ram, Patita Pavana Sita Ram. Thank you. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivajikacharya Asasata Shishimad, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivajikacharya Asasata Shishimad, His Divine Grace, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada Ki. Anantakoti Vaishnavinda Ki Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki. Prem Sekaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Ki, Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopinath, Shamakunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki, Yamuna Devi Ki, Ganga Devi Ki, Bhakti Devi Ki, Tulsi Devi Ki, Vrindavan Dham Ki, Mayapur Dham Ki, Sankirtan Yagya Ki, Gaur Premanandi, all glories the assembled devotees, all glories the assembled devotees, all glories the assembled devotees, all glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga, glories to Srila Prabhupada. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna. Om Jnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Gena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Das Vadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Parakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitamscha Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitam Cha. I was born in the darkness of ignorance, and my spiritual master opened my eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisances unto him. It's this Sri Ramayan is such a lengthy pastime. It is the oldest, it's the first great epic of ancient India, written more than 1 million years ago. And so very old, and we know all throughout the Asian world, many different countries there, they have so much, have displayed the Ramayana through visual arts, drama, dance, and then all kinds of paintings and sculptures, and in many different ways it has been glorified. And so since today is Ram Vijayotsav, the victory of Ram, I heard also it's the day that Ram met Hanuman, that is also celebrated in certain regions of India, and there's the effigy in burnt of Ravana. So we have to skip most of the Ramayana and just focus on that. And first of all, we see that all of this, like so much of the great fighting that went on, caused by women, right? By Surpanaka, and also, of course, because of Sita being kidnapped. But first of all, you know, this Ravana, he is the villain here. And what happens is he has this beautiful, beautiful airplane that he actually stole from his brother, the Pushpaka. And his brother is Kuvera, the god of the waters. And this airplane, it looked more like a city of the gods floating in the air than a chariot. Numerous cat's eye and crystal pillars ran along its sides, supporting golden mansions inlaid with coral. Large floors made entirely of gems stood upon gold statues of lions and tigers. Groves of artificial trees shining with golden leaves and fruits surrounded large ponds crowded with white lotuses. In those clear ponds stood ivory elephants and silver goddesses. Networks of pearls and wreaths of celestial flowers hung all over that car. It was encrusted with countless precious stones and emblazoned with gold carvings of wolves, sharks, and fierce bears. Sweeping through the skies, it emitted the sounds of celestial music and the fragrance of the parijata flower, known only to the gods. So Ravana, he used to fly around in his pleasure airplane, and you know how rishis and sages, they go to the mountains to have a peaceful, secluded life. But that's exactly who Ravana would look for. Not only him, the Rakshasas. So we see the material world, everywhere you are, there's always some reminder that it's not our real home and it's a place of danger. And he would just alight, his airplane could float in the sky like stay, and he would just go and devour them. First of all, throw stones on them, and he would defile their sacrifices. The reason how he can see them is the smoke coming up from the sacrifices, the fire yagas, and he would go defile it and then kill them. And this is his sport, because he's extremely powerful. So once upon a time, he looks down from his airplane and he sees this lady, and a very beautiful looking young ascetic lady. And he thought, this is unusual. I never saw a lady ascetic in the mountains here. And he just went, he had his horde of Rakshasa associates. He told them to wait, and he alighted, and she was in deep meditation. Her name is Vegavati. Interestingly enough, Madhvacharya's mother's name is also Vegavati. And so, not Gati, I'm saying Vedavati. No, that's what I said, right? So he goes to her, and he, she's just sitting there and on soft grass, and he breaks her meditation, trying to talk to her, and he's looking at her shape, she has on a thin cloth and then he's like, wow, who is this youthful lady? And what is she doing here all by herself? Doesn't she have a protector? And of course, he's very fond of women. Whenever he sees beautiful women, he just thinks, for me, this is for my pleasure, to add to his array of consorts. And we know that these women that he kidnapped, so many, and they actually liked it, as Spirit Krishna Swami often tells. They didn't mind being kidnapped. They didn't mind giving up their husbands, their puny, weak husbands, because here was this very handsome and strong and tall, and look at, only his airplane is described like this, what to speak of his city and their palaces. So they can go and have their own palace and lots of servants and all of the best jewels and silk clothing and maidservants and the best food. So they were like, this isn't too bad, I don't have to labor anymore, and cooking and cleaning and taking care of the children. Like, they thought it's okay. Although generally he often kidnapped princesses who were not yet married too. So he's thinking everyone will want to be my wife. So then, so he assumed a human form though, so he wasn't so, humongous looking and all. And he said, "Oh, most beautiful maiden, who are you? And what are you doing here?" Excuse me. And what fortunate man has you for his wife? And she opened her black eyes, and she thought, well, he's a guest here, and she tried to be respectful to him. And this Vedavati, her grandfather is Brihaspati, so her father himself was a sage. And she's told, I was born as an incarnation of the holy Vedas. And she's sitting in meditation for thousands of years to obtain Vishnu as her husband. So she told him that I'm just, many men have approached my father for my hand, but I'll only marry Vishnu. And Ravana considers Vishnu his enemy. And he laughed, and like, how can you, like, he started deriding Vishnu. And so this made her not very happy, because he was trying to entice her to come. And so then let's see. So having then Vedavati flared up with anger and rebuked the demon. She told him to leave immediately for his own good, lest he incite the powerful anger of Lord Vishnu. And then Ravana thought, oh, I like this high-spirited women. Like Krishna wanted to incite Rukmini's anger, because I guess generally, it's very nice to have a very sweet, humble and wife, but they also like these high-spirited women who could speak like that. And so she and he just thought, I'll just take her. And he grabbed, she had long locks of hair, like dreadlocks, and he grabbed her hair, and she uttered a powerful Sanskrit mantra, which made him paralyzed for a moment. Like he just stopped, and with her hand, she just cut the hair. And even though he only touched her hair, she said, "Oh, evil one, I shall now quit this body defiled by your touch." So she told him, because I've been defiled by you and insulted, that I will take birth only for your destruction. Appearing from the earth, I shall become the pious daughter of a virtuous man. You and your entire race will be destroyed as a result of that birth. So that's Sita Devi. She took birth as Sita later. And also Parvati cursed him because he went flying around. He landed in Kailas in Shiva's abode, and they're like, "What are you doing here? You know, this is Shiva's abode." And then anyway, he was very violent, and Parvati, she cursed him. She said, she told Shiva, as this wretch has frightened a woman by his violence, his death shall be caused by a woman. And then also, you know, he used to just take any woman he wanted, and once he actually raped Rambu, the wife of Nala Kuvera, and you know, Nala Kuvera and Manigriva, right in front of all of his Rakshasa friends. He just raped her, and she, you know, ran to her husband after that. And he said, well, you know, Ravana is like so powerful. If I go approach him, of course, that's the end of me. He'll kill me immediately. And he said, but I can curse him. So I curse him. If he ever if he ever rapes a woman against her will, he shall die. So that's why, like Sita, has, as much as he desired her, he couldn't have her without his consent. Okay, so we have to, such little bit of time, I have to skip way ahead, and you all know the pastime and how he kidnapped Sita, and how thinking that she's going to submit to me eventually, and at least out of fear she will, but never. So now, as Sita was there in the grove, you know, she wouldn't even stay in his palace. Well, he didn't want her in the palace too if she wasn't going to be his wife, and so she's just all alone there. And the Rakshashis, Ravana told them, just break her resolve, either first by, you know, tormenting her, and then by, you know, just telling her my glories and how happy she would be marrying me and giving up that human husband. And so Sita is, she's like in the Ashok Grove, which was very beautiful, but she sang, I heard this song many years ago from English devotees did a rendition. I guess maybe it was a soundtrack from a drama, but she said, my broken heart pains day and night, flooding my mind with thoughts of you. Reveal yourself before my sight. Give me hope and life anew. Will you come to allay my fears? Free me from this sea of sorrow, but for you I've lived these years. For you I love, I live tomorrow. and I'm missing you, and I'm missing you, my Lord, and I'm missing you, my Lord, and I'm missing you, my Lord. Could it be that you gave up living, thinking me to have left you there? Will we no more love be sharing? If that be, I'll end my life. Will you come to allay my fears? Free me from my sea of sorrow, but for you I've lived these years. For you I love, I live tomorrow. And I'm missing you, and I'm missing you, my Lord. And I'm missing you, my Lord. So, because Ravana told her, if you don't submit to me, I give you 1 year to submit. And if you don't submit, then I'll have my cooks cut you up into little pieces and cook you and serve you for my breakfast. So I mean, the torment that Sita went through, and it's wonderful how smart he was to elicit, commission Maricha. Maricha first told him, don't do it. Now, we think that it was when Surpanaka went and told Ravana what had happened and how Lakshman had mutilated her and told him about Sita. But actually, it was before that. There was one of the Rakshasas, because after this happened, Surpanaka went to her brothers, Kar and Dushan. Kar is the leader there who was stationed in Janastan in the forest, and she was all bloody and all. So he sent 14 Rakshasas to contend, to kill Ram and Lakshman. But of course, Ram in one shot, like just once, and he released 14 arrows, shot all of them right away. They were killed. So Surpanaka, she had watched all of this because, her brother said, I want to drink the blood of that frail, skinny girl and eat her flesh. And so Ravana said, Kar said, go ahead, you go, and as soon as he kills them, these 14 Rakshasas, you can drink their blood when it's nice and fresh and hot. And so, sorry. Really, this is how they are, unbelievable. So she ran back and said they were killed. So now Kar's really angry. And he called his whole army 14,000 Rakshasas. So they start marching, and then these omens come. And then as they're coming closer and the sky's darkening, and so Ram tells Lakshman, go ahead, you take Sita up to a cave, take her up and protect her. So here's Ram all alone, fighting with 14,000 Rakshasas. And you have heard about the Battle of Kurukshetra. You heard about the battle between the monkeys, the Varnaras, and the Rakshasas. But nothing compares to this. Ram single-handedly, we don't have time to go into details, but single-handedly, how he contended with 14,000. Like, imagine the mental dexterity, because they are on all sides and all of these weapons. Where did he get weapons? He went into the forest in exile. How did he get weapons? Well, while he was in the forest, he happened to meet, somebody brought him to meet Agastya. And Agastya is a very powerful sage, and he actually gave him, he gave him an inexhaustible amount of arrows, and all these arrows with diamond tips, and gold, and they blaze like fire, and they have razor sharp and crescents, and they just like one after another. People could not see. They couldn't see Ram taking the arrows out. It was so fast he was moving. And it's a wonderful, wonderful battle. Like my favorite battle of all is this, and that you think, wow, this is our Lord. Ramachandra is our Lord, and how very powerful he is. Okay, so now, after this, there was one of those Rakshasas there. He became frightened and he ran away. He escaped. His name is Akampana, and he just ran all the way back to Lanka. And he's the one that first of all told Ravana about what happened and how this Ram, had done this, killed first 14, then 14,000. And he was like, what? He had worshipped Brahma, Ravana, to get benedictions. He got these benedictions that he would be invincible even to all the gods. And he never thought gods and demons, anyone, but he didn't even ask for invincibility against humans, because humans were no combat. It's kind of like for us, like a 2-year-old child to think that we have anything to worry that they could harm us, in a fight. It's kind of a joke. So he didn't even ask for any kind of immunity to humans. And because they wouldn't even look at him, a human would certainly hide in fear. And so what he did, he cut off his arms. He has 10 heads and 20 arms. And he cut off one arm at a time to offer to Lord Brahma in sacrifice. And first his arms, and then Brahma didn't come. And then he began to cut off his heads one at a time. And Brahma finally, after cutting off his heads, he came. But Brahma gave him this benediction within his heart. There is a stone that holds this nectar that as soon as one head or one arm is cut, it will grow right back again. So he had this benediction. That's why in the battle that he always had his 10 heads and 20 arms. So now we're going to skip way ahead to the actual demise of Ravana, who terrorized so many people. And we see that like what happened, like what really, like they were fighting all the monkeys, the Vanaras, and then all of Ravana's army, Rakshasa. But then when Indrajit got killed by Lakshman, that was a very ferocious fight. And so Indrajit, he got killed, and Lakshman, he had killed him because Ram gave him a special arrow. And so what happened was, when Indrajit died, that really it really got Ravana really angry. At first he was just like so overcome with grief, how can this happen? How can you dare, how can my son die before me? And now his mother, and pretty soon I'm going to be hearing all the ladies wailing when they hear that Indrajit was killed. But then he just got really angry and thought, I'm going to do away with this Ram for sure tomorrow. And so when he started fighting, though, he got overtaken. Ram sent so many, he had so many arrows. I can't understand how these warriors get so many arrows pierced through their armor, pierced through their body, pierced in their forehead, and like they don't die. Like, how do they not die? Like, if we get a little splinter, or if we're cutting a vegetable, we cut our hand, ow, it's like a major pain, and takes like days and days to heal. Or if you're sewing or making garlands, you prick your finger, it's like a big thing. But imagine getting shot like with hundreds and thousands of arrows, and they don't die very easily. Usually decapitation is like how they die. So now what happened, Ravana, at one point he ran away, he retreated. He was so much fearful because Ram was overtaking him. But, he didn't give up. He was determined. So now on the battlefield, though, Ram was expressing exhaustion and from the fight. And then all of the rishis were watching from the sky, and Agastya, he had been observing. He's a great well-wisher. So what he did, he descended and went right onto Ram's chariot and told him, "Oh, mighty armed Ram, listen, listen." And he taught him a mantra, a confidential prayer called Aditya Hridaya. So this prayer, it invokes the powerful spiritual energy from the heart of the sun, and it's very it evokes the effulgence of the Supreme Lord. So he taught him that, and so what happened was he was like, okay, so he goes back out again, and he had somehow gotten Indra's chariot. Indra, I guess, lent it to Ram, and Matali is the charioteer. And then Matali, he tells him, remember the mantra that you got, and he's like, oh yeah, the mantra, and the Aditya mantra. And so he's fighting and fighting and fighting, and then he got Ram 10 times. He cut off his arms of Ravana, 10 arms, with his sword, and then they grew right back. He did it 10 times. He cut off 100 arms. And then Vibhishan quickly approached Ram and he said, remember, Brahma gave him this boon. You're not going to kill him by cutting off his arms and his heads. The only way to kill him is to strike at his heart, because it will dry up the nectar. There's nectar there is stored within the heart that Brahma gave him. That nectar is the cause of everything growing back. So then Ram's like, okay, and Matali told him, all right, do it now, do it now, do what Agastya told you. And the celestial arrow, Agastya had given it to him long before. When he first entered the forest, he had that one. So now Ram got that, and the wind god presided over its shaft. Anyway, this weapon is made of ether. You think ether doesn't weigh anything, but this ether arrow, it consisted of the weight of the Mandara and Meru mountains. The wind god presided over its shaft, the fire god over its plumes, and the sun god was installed at its point. It looked like the rod of universal destruction wielded by the time spirit himself. So now Ram chanted that Aditya Hridaya prayer and invoked the infallible Brahmastra. As Ram drew back the arrow, he shone so brightly that no one could look at him. He released the weapon and it flew at Ravana, lighting up the earth and sky and roaring like a tumultuous ocean. It struck the demon on his chest, even as he stood firing his own weapons at Rama, piercing right through his heart. The arrow emerged from Ravana's body, soaked in blood, and entered the earth. Ravana whirled around and let out a cry which seemed to shake the entire creation. His bow dropped from his hands, and he fell from his chariot like a mountain struck down by Indra's thunderbolt. And then all the Rakshasas fled in panic-stricken fear in every direction. And they were all crying, you know, everyone in Lanka, they loved Ravana, he's their king. And they were everyone just started crying in grief. But the monkeys, they just started shouting in joy, and the celestial beings sounded drums and delightful breezes, and then a dazzling shower of brilliant flowers fell from the sky and covered Ram's chariot. The gods and rishis praised Ram, who stood blazing with splendor. The battle was over. Ram climbed down from the chariot and was surrounded by Lakshman, Sugriva, Hanuman, Angad, Jambavan, and Vibhishan, who all praised and cheered him for his incredible feat. Jai, victory to Ram, all glories to Sri Lord Ramachandra, our heroic Lord. Okay, now we have only 5 or 6 minutes to glorify Madhvacharya. Madhvacharya is very significant to us. Why? We are in the Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. So he is very much, important in our line. And in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya-lila 9:11, Srila Prabhupada said, at that time, so the time of Ramanujacharya, all the South Indian Vaishnavas were worshippers of Lord Ramachandra. Some were Tattvavadis, and some were followers of Ramanujacharya. So, what is this Tattvavadi? This is a word that Madhvacharya used to describe his followers, to distinguish his disciples and disciplic succession from the Mayavadi followers of Sankaracharya, who are called Mayavadis. So these are Tattvavadis because Maya is illusion, so they are in illusion, and they are considering that the Lord and the living entity are one. So Tattvavadi, he was espousing this difference. So the main purpose of Madhvacharya's appearance was to pounce and trump and dismantle Mayavad philosophy. And it so happened that right nearby was the Sringeri Math, which was the Mayavad, the followers of Sankaracharya. It was their headquarters, and it was right near Udupi. So they used to harass the devotees of Madhvacharya, and one time they even stole all of Madhvacharya's books from him. But he made alliance with the king and was able to get them back. So this was his whole life's mission as our Srila Prabhupada. We also say, Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharane Nirvasesha Shunyavadi Paschat Yadesha Tarane. That's Prabhupada's mission as well, to annihilate this impersonalism and voidism that was so prominent. Now, what happened was, we know Lord Brahma, whenever there's some kind of disturbance, he approaches Lord Vishnu along with the demigods. So he did, and he said, the devotees are so disturbed by this huge influence, and it still goes on to this day. And we know our recent acharyas, Srila Prabhupada, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, they all were contending with this and also making it their life's mission to eradicate this and to expose it. So when Lord Brahma approached, he said, okay, all the demigods were there with Brahma, and he glances over and he sees Vayu, and he said, Vayu, I want you to go. I want you to incarnate on the earth in Udupi, and you will be Madhva, and I want you to spearhead this dismantling of this Mayavad philosophy. So he folded his palms and was very happy to take that upon him. And so his parents, they were very great devotees, and his mother, again, Vegavati, and the father, they lived like almost 3-hour walk away from Udupi temple. Right across from Udupi temple is another temple, and they used to go every day. They would walk there, or at least the dad did every day. And so one day it was a festival, and so at this festival, there outside of the temple there's a flagpole, and there were a lot of devotees there for this particular festival. And what happened was, a mad person climbed up to the top of the flagpole, and he started dancing and kind of erratically, and so then people were like, what is he doing up there? So he got everyone's attention, and then he totally changed his demeanor, became very sober, and he announced that soon an incarnation, a personality will take place here who will promote personalism and who will do away with this Mayavad philosophy, and he will take birth here. But it wasn't very soon. But now the father, his name is Majjageha Bhatta. Majjageha means the middle house. So in the village he lived in the middle house. That's what his name meant. It doesn't really say his name. And so he and his wife, they performed this vrata that Kashyapa Muni gave Aditi. They only drank milk for 12 years, and every day visited the temple, and they had a deity at home of Narayan, and they prayed to have a son and to render service to the Ananteshvara deity right across from the Udupi temple. Anyway, so lo and behold, time is up, but but after 12 years, then they had a son who's an incarnation of Vayu, Bhima, and Hanuman, all three. And Madhvacharya, not only so strong in philosophy, no tolerance for deviation, Mayavadi, he was very, very strong, engaged in swimming, mountain climbing, and wrestling, and had a voracious appetite like Bhima. But we all know how he got the Udupi deity. And this Udupi deity Krishna, this is the same deity from Dwarka that Lord Krishna, had made for his queens because they heard from Rohini about Vrindavan, and they're like, we want to hear about your childhood. He's there, no, it's Rasa Bas, you shouldn't hear about it, and it'll create confusing. No, we really, really, really want to. So he made this deity, and this deity has a stick, it's a butter churning rod, and also a rope for churning butter. This is the same deity because this deity was in the Gopi Chandan. You know, Gopi Chandan, I thought it all came from Vrindavan, but it comes from Dwarka, Gopi Chandan. So on this ship, it's late, isn't it? Oh, okay, yeah. So it's on this ship, they were using this big Gopi Chandan as a ballast, right, a weight to balance the ship, to put weight on one end, because this was a cargo ship that was bringing goods from Dwarka to South India to sell. And so Madhvacharya saved them. They got stuck on a sand barge, and then the captain came off and said, let us give you something. We have so many goods. No, we're sannyasis. I know you have Gopi Chandan, we'll take Gopi Chandan. And 30 men it took to carry that, but they couldn't. So Madhvacharya himself carried that back to the temple. Just that morning, while he's sitting on the beach, he wrote a prayer, he wrote a 12-stanza prayer. He wrote the first 5 about Krishna and Vrindavan and how he really wanted a deity for his disciples. Jai, all glories to Madhvacharya, Ram Vijayotsav, Jai Shri Shri Radha Golokananda Ki.
Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Enam Kanvantam Aravindadalaya Taksham Varhavatam Samasitam Buddha Sundarangam Kandar Akom Vikamaniya Vishesha Shobha. Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Angani Yasa Sakalem Kriya Vriti Manti Vasyanti Panti Kayanti Chiram Naganti Ananda Chinmaya Sadhu Jala Vigrahasya. Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Govindam Adi Purusham
Yasomati Nandana Brajabara Nagara Gokula Ranjana Kana Yasomati Nandana Brajabara Nagara Gokula Ranjana Kana Yasomati Nandana Nagara Gokula Ranjana Kana Gopi Purana Dana Madana Manohara 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 Kaliya Damana Vidana Kaliya Damana Dana Kaliya Damana Vidana Kaliya Damana Vidana Amala Harinama Miya Vilasa Amala Harinama Miya Vilasa Amala Harinama Miya Vilasa Vilasa Vipinan Purandaran Navina Nagara Bara Vamsivadana Suvasa Vipinam Purandara Navina Nagara Bara Vamsivadana Suvasa Vipinam Purandara Navina Nagara Bara Vamsivadana Suvasa Vipinam Purandara Vijana Garabara Vamsivadana Vasa Brajajana Palana Surakula Nashana Jajana Palana Surakula Nasha Brajajana Palana Surakula Nashana Jajana Palana Surakula Nashana Nanda Godana Rakulaya Nanda Godana Rakulaya Nanda Godana Rakulaya Nanda Godana Rakulaya Govinda Madhava Navanita Taskara Govinda Madhava Navanita Taskara Govinda Madhava Navanita Taskara Govinda Nita Taskara Sundara Nanda Gopala Sundarananda Gopala Sundarananda Gopala Sundarananda Gopala Yamuna Tatachara Gopi Vasanahara Rasa Rasika Kripa Moya 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 Shri Radha Vallabha Vrindavana Natabara Shri Radha Vallabha Vrindavana Natabara Shri Radha Vallabha Vrindavana Natabara Shri Radha Vallabha Vrindavana Bhakti Vinoda Shraya, Bhakti Vinoda Shraya, Bhakti Vinoda Shraya, Bhakti Vinoda Shraya, Yasomati Nandana Brajabara Nagara Gokula Ranjana Kana, Yasomati Nandana Brajabara Nagara Gokula Ranjana Kana, Amala Harinama Miya Vilasa, Amala Harinama Miya Vilasa, Amala Harinama Miya Vilasa, Amala Harinama Miya Vilasa, Govinda Madhava Navanita Taskara, Govinda Madhava Navanita Taskara, Sri Radha Vallabha Vrindavana Natabara, Sri Radha Vallabha Vrindavana Natabara, Bhakti Vinoda Shraya, Bhakti Vinoda Shraya, Bhakti Vinoda Shraya, Bhakti Vinoda Shraya. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Golokananda, Radha Golokananda, Radhe. Jaya Radha Golokananda, Golokananda, Radha. Jaya Radha Golokananda, Radha Golokananda, Radhe. Jaya Radha Golokananda, Golokananda, Radhe. Jaya Giri Govardhan, Giri Govardhan, Giri Govardhan, Jaya Giri Govardhan, Jaya Giri Govardhan, Giri Govardhan, Jaya Giri Govardhan, Jaya Giri Govardhan, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Shri Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Shri Radhe. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Shri Gaur Nitai ki jai, Shri Shri Radha Golokananda ki jai. Lord Krishna is beloved son of Yashoda, transcendental lover in the land of Braj, the delight of Gokula, known by the nickname Kana, the wealth of the lives of the gopis, the attractor of Cupid, and the punisher of the Kaliya. These pure holy names of Lord Krishna, Lord of the 12 forests of Braj, ever youthful, the best of lovers, player of the flute and excellent dancer, protector of the inhabitants of Braj, destroyer of the demoniac dynasties, keeper and tender of Nanda's cows, giver of pleasure to cows, land, and spiritual senses, husband of the goddess of fortune, butter thief, and beautiful little cowherd boy of Nanda Maharaj, wanderer of the Yamuna riverbank, chief of the garments of the gopis, enjoyer of the mellows of the rasa dance, very merciful, lover and beloved of Sri Radha, the great dancer in Vrindavan, and the only shelter of Bhakti Vinod Thakur. Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur ki jai. And a quick announcement before we do the Shastika. This Friday is called Last Friday because it's the last Friday of the month here in Hillsborough. Everywhere else too, but here in Hillsborough, they have a festival. And this is the last Friday before the winter starts. And it's going to be very nice that day. It's going to be like summer. It's going to be about 80 degrees in the afternoon. And they're having a Halloween-themed last Friday. So there's going to be lots of stuff going on. And we're going to go out at 5 o'clock to 7 o'clock on Friday evening at the corner of Margaret Street and Churton. And we'll have a Harinam there. There'll be lots of people there. It's always a nice festival. It'll be especially nice because it's Halloween mood. So please mark that on your calendar. Friday, 5 to 7 in the evening at the corner of Margaret and Churton Streets in Hillsborough for Harinam. Che Tomar. What? Oh, yeah. What? Okay.
That's it.
Oh, wait. She's got an announcement.
Oh, I just wanted to play this.
Here's a few words. Very happy to be able to address you on this day of Vyasa Puja. However, I'm in India, so I couldn't do it live. But I just want to give you a few words of encouragement. And basically, encouragement is to understand my mission of serving Srila Prabhupada, which is complete dedication to Srila Prabhupada's movement. And Srila Prabhupada's movement is meant for bringing more devotees to the movement and happier devotees. In other words, deepening people's Krishna consciousness and showing compassion for all the conditioned souls and not rejecting anyone. So this is Srila Prabhupada's mood. And in order to do that, we need to learn the art of toleration, but tolerate with the concept, with the mood of pleasing Srila Prabhupada. And if you can dedicate your lives like that, I will be very pleased with you, and Srila Prabhupada will be very pleased with you. And you will go back to Godhead, or you can continue preaching life after life. Jai. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, your ever well-wisher.
It's his appearance day.
Because today is actually Bir Krishna Maharaj's appearance day. Yeah, this is the actual day. Chaitodarpana marjanam bhavamahadavagni nirvapanam Shreya Kairavya Chandrika Vitaranam Vijavadu Jivanam Anandam Buddhi Vardhanam Pratipanam Purnamrita Swadanam Sarvatma Snapanam Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam Nam Namakari